Let's talk about online sales, virtual sales, because I know your team is killing it. You have a lot of guys who moved away and work remotely from their homes, and they're still selling millions of dollars worth of roofing jobs. How does it change the presentation? Do you have the same presentation whether you're in person or if you're online, virtual, or you make tweaks? What's the strategy between the two?
It tends to be the same presentation because you're going to want to touch on the same things and talk through the same things, but it's slightly different follow-up on it in how you communicate with them, right? So, yeah, so again, our roofing company, I always preface this with the fact because these are some staggering numbers I'll share. I preface it with the fact that we had a couple of really big hailstorms up here in Calgary. So 2020 and 2021 were big hail years. And we have a lot of inbound leads coming our way. But in 2021, um, I had two sales guys each sell over $8 million just of residential roofing jobs. No multifamily, no $1 million jobs. The largest job was maybe 70,000.
Wow.
Last year, the one guy moved. He moved to some island off the west coast of Canada, so middle of nowhere. But I was just like, you guys, we got it. Like, he's too good. We can have somebody, we call it scope the job form. We can order an Eagle View. We can get all the data we need of photos and measurements and all that we need and let him continue to sell. Well, he sold almost $5 million this year, living on an island off the west coast of Canada, just working 100% virtual remote. So it can be done incredibly easy this way if you've got good processes in place and if you're willing to use technology. And these days, homeowners are very willing to work with technology with you. So,
So
yeah, it's pretty powerful.
So those $5 million worth of sales, no one met the homeowner before. Who inspected the jobs? Who inspected the roofs? Where's the data came from? How did he sell so much? And what kind of assistant did he require?
I'm a big believer that if you're going to sell remote, you need to have had somebody attend the property because you need to understand the complexities that you're getting into, the challenges, all the typical issues that you run into, right? So, yes, absolutely. We had somebody, we sort of hire a more junior person. As a part of the process, we would get the lead. We've got somebody sort of booking a route for them. So as they get their leads, here's your route for the next day, and there's, all eight sort of in the same neighborhood or on a fast way for them to get around. They go up to the door, they knock on the door. There's marketing materials that they're handing, they're introducing themselves, and then they're letting the homeowner know that their sales rep will be reaching out to them to book a meeting either in person or virtually. And then they go through and they document the entire property. So there's a very standard process of exactly the photos that will be taken, how many photos, the angles, just everything, it's the top of the ladder. Top of the ladder, there's always four photos, right? So photo of the pitch, put the pitch gauge on, photo of that, photo of drip edge, and whether it's ice and water or a synthetic or something, photo of the metal color, and photo of the soffit measurement. So it's very standard at this stage. You will take these photos, but that way, any person that touches that file, because we're 150 people in our roofing company, anybody that touched that file, it's all like they've been there because it's the exact same photos of how we've documented it. And then we order an Eagle View, and then from there, it's very easy for us to engage with a homeowner, anybody, in understanding exactly what their home is like, what's going on with it. And so yeah, it's very process focused on it, but that's why we can have somebody remote actually selling it because it's like they've been on site as they go through those photos and measurements.
Love it. Do you believe that selling online is the future of selling in the construction industry, or you feel like in person, door knocking, home presentation will never go away?
I think it'll always be a blend. Because again, I think the consumer is going to dictate it. I think the consumers are getting more and more comfortable online. But yeah, I mean, nowadays with this, I mean, it's rare that you and I get to sit down in person, but we get so much of that from the tone, the body language, everything that we're doing here, and people are more comfortable with this. I think the pros are going to start outweighing the cons of being virtual. Being in person is ideal, right? I'm not gonna try and argue against that, but your ability to scale as a business depending on how you're running your business, um, and the locations you're running and everything else. You're getting bigger companies that can launch with lower overhead due to technology and all sorts of things. The need for an office and a in-person showroom and stuff like that is going down, and there's some major overhead costs with that stuff. And so you can be really, really efficient online is the benefit. Now you got to make sure that the customer experience is just as good, if not better, as in person. And those tools are growing fast every day. And I mean, I always say, as a homeowner, I remember, having somebody come out to give us a quote for air conditioning. And no, 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 has to be in person. Fine. So I got to leave work early. I got to get home at the end of the day. You know, my kids are there, they're screaming, they're hungry, and they want to have dinner. Like everything is the worst experience for me as a consumer. In what other industry? It's not like we go think about getting a used car and the salesperson's like, hey, why don't I come over to your house? You can pour me a cup of coffee and I can pitch you hard on why you need to buy this used car from me. Like in no other industry do we invite people into our homes to do this, right? This is more of a construction contractor type thing. So I think the tools are coming along very fast, and homeowners' desire for it to be virtual is very high right now. So,
Love it.
you know, yeah.